We're taking a live look outside of our Savannah cams. We're looking over City Market. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful Saturday out there. Storm Team 3 meteorologist Hannah Evans is here with your forecast first. Good morning, Hannah.
Good morning, Tyler. It is going to be a really nice day out there, but it's going to be a few degrees warmer and a little bit more humid compared to yesterday. So you're going to want to make sure you're staying cool and hydrated out there. We're already in the mid 70s, 75 degrees in Savannah and Hampton this morning. Already 80 degrees down in Darien this morning as well, as we are tracking those dry conditions on our Viper radar as high pressure is still in control. So it is moved a little bit farther away from us. It's off the East Coast. So with that, it aids in a southerly flow, which will bring more of that mugginess in the air and that warmth throughout the day today. So I would say a nice day to head over to the beach. It will be a little bit cooler along Tybee and Hilton Head. Highs in the mid 80s there. Inland, we'll see the upper 80s and lower 90s, like 90 degrees in Savannah and Rincon, 91 degrees in Glenville and in Hinesville. And we're not done there. We'll continue to warm into the low 90s for most of the upcoming work week. Just look at tomorrow. High temperatures possibly closer to the mid 90s inland. So you're going to want to make sure you're staying cool and hydrated. And I will talk a little bit more about this temperature increase as well as the humidity increase in just a few minutes. Tyler.
We begin with community reaction in the Low Country after an immigration enforcement operation that led to more than a dozen detentions in Bluffton last week. Faith leaders and advocacy groups say the situation has sparked fear and frustrations, bringing dozens of people together in a show of support for immigrant families. WSAV's Nakai Harris was there, and she has reaction from community members.
We're here because other people can't be here.
On Friday, people gathered where more than a dozen individuals were detained following an immigration enforcement operation in Bluffton exactly 1 week ago. Many say it's hitting too close to home.
It's when it becomes local. All politics is local. You can read about things in Washington, D.C. or in other places, but it's here now. ICE is here.
Several organizations and faith-based leaders banded together to make the event possible with around 5 days to plan. Organizers like Pastor June Wilkins say more than 50 people attended, demanding answers and showing support for immigrant families.
Injustice thrives in silence. Cruelty thrives in silence. They don't want us to point it out, to address it, and so that's what this is for.
WSAV spoke with the several attendees on and off camera, all sharing the same message.
People come trying to get documents here, and ICE picks them up to prevent them from getting documents, which is, they're not criminals, they're hardworking people, and they're trying to do the best they can for their families.
And organizer Amy Deverall says it wasn't difficult to draw the crowd seen along Bluffton Parkway.
I think everybody is angry about the way that we're demonizing immigrants. Immigrants are not the cause of all of our problems in this country. We're scapegoating them for everything right now. I think that there are a lot of people here who are just angry. This is obviously happening on a much larger scale nationwide. It's very disturbing to see it here locally. It's very disturbing to see our own local law enforcement participating in this. The community is terrified. The community that they're supposed to be protecting is terrified because of their involvement in this.
And several agree the next step in making their voices heard is at the ballot box, with many pointing to the upcoming November election.
Vote. That election can't come soon enough, to see if we can't get some of these people out of here, and get people in who care about other people. That's what the government's supposed to be doing.
Reporting in Bluffton, Nakai Harris, WSAV News 3, on your side.
A proposed change to building rules in the hog hammock community on Sapelo Island is moving to the next step in the approval process. The McIntosh County Board of Commissioners voted to send an updated hog hammock zoning district ordinance to the Planning and Zoning Board for review. Now, the main change will reduce the maximum allowed size of a home from 3,000 square feet to 1,800 square feet under roof, meaning all covered and enclosed areas of a structure, including garages, carports, and covered porches. The Planning and Zoning Board will hold a public hearing to gather feedback on that proposal. After reviewing public comments, the board will then send its recommendations back to county commissioners, who will make that final decision. Well, WSAV is your local election headquarters, and early voting for Georgia's June 16th runoff election is going to start on Monday. WSAV's Evan Smoke has more on what you should know before returning to the polls.
Early voting begins Monday, and on the ballot is a multitude of local and statewide offices. The runoff includes the Republican primary for governor and U.S. Senate. In Bullitt County, a local county commissioner seat is once again up for grabs. County election staff tells WSAV if you voted during May's primary election, your choice of ballot has already been decided.
If you casted a Democrat ballot, then you will have to vote a Democrat, ballot for the runoff. Same as Republican.
Early voting in Bullitt County will be held right here at the Bullitt County Annex from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Reporting in Statesboro, Evan Smoke, WSAV News 3. On your side.
There are several elections heading into that runoff. The Republican nomination is one of those races. It's between current Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones, and Rick Jackson. The winner will then face Democrat Keisha Lance Bottoms. There's also the race between State Representative Mike Collins and Derek Dooley for U.S. Senate. The winner of that will face incumbent Democrat John Ossoff. Both parties will have runoffs for Lieutenant Governor and Secretary of State. Meanwhile, in South Carolina, the period for early voting ended last night, and primary election day is coming up this Tuesday, June 9th. Races there include U.S. Senate and House, as well as the seat for governor and other local and state positions. Voting is open from 8:30 until 5 p.m. each day. And for important voting information for Georgia and South Carolina, all you got to do is visit our website, wsav.com/electionhq. The Savannah Downtown Business Association says it is working to continue making downtown shopping and dining even better during slow periods. WSAV's Isabella Baez spoke to the association's executive director about some of the changes that you may start to notice. She has those details.
When walking down Broughton Street, you might notice new stores or restaurants opening their doors, just like Free People, which opened up just a few months ago. But some businesses are telling a different story and closing after years downtown.
So I think it's thinking about when something goes in, getting something in right away behind it, right? This is our heart of commerce.
Mia Mance, the executive director of the Savannah Downtown Business Association, says when one business leaves, it's all about getting the next one in. And she says even if you see a vacancy on Broughton Street or anywhere downtown Savannah, just know they are working on how to make the storefront more appealing, even when it's empty.
We're also looking at getting all of these corners, all of those storefronts, right, activated. And activated doesn't necessarily always mean a lease signed, but how can we thoughtfully rethink what goes in these storefronts? What can we do pop-up wise? What can we do art wise?
Just months ago, Locally Made Savannah, a store specializing in selling locally made items from local artists, announced their closure after almost 5 years.
So I think every storefront has a different story, and I think, yes, bumping up against the cost of doing business and seeing a softer economy at this moment.
Even though there have been some recent closures, some stores have also been opening their doors and celebrating new beginnings, like Savannah Scone Company, which opened its second location on Congress Street. Mance says a majority of businesses throughout downtown Savannah are locally owned.
Local ownership on Broughton Street specifically, that's probably over 75% of our number.
Mance also stresses the importance of shopping small and eating local, saying it's a way to support the people who call the city home. Reporting in Savannah, I'm Isabella Baez, WSAV News 3, on your side.